All right, hey YouTube, thanks for coming back and joining me here out in the garage making more videos, of course. Hope you guys have been enjoying the videos. If you haven't checked out my last video, maybe you guys should go check it out. You know, me and my daughter, we both went racing and both had a pretty good weekend. But anyhow, this week back out here in the garage, and I've got my 400ex here. I'm going to be working on the clutch here a little bit. This clutch has kind of been pretty stiff. Yeah, I'm not sure if the cable's messed up down in there or if it's just this little lever here's, I don't know. But I got a new lever, I got a new cable, and I've actually got a new clutch for it also. But we're probably just going to be doing the cable and the lever today. I got them both over here. Let's go check that out. So I got new clutch cable right here from Rocky Mountain. And then I also got a new clutch lever. We're going to get rid of the parking brake and all that other crap up there on the handlebars there. So, but I also wanted to do a quick comparison to how hard this clutch is to pull compared to my 450. And like I said, I'm not 100% certain how accurate this is, but at least it'll be a good comparison between them. I got a little fish scale here, and I'm going to actually use it to pull the lever, and at least that'll give me an idea of how hard that is to pull, and then compare it to my 450 that actually feels pretty easy compared to that one. But like I said, we'll be able to do a comparison, and then I think I'm going to put the cable on and we'll compare how hard it is to pull with just the cable, and then I'll do the lever and we'll see how hard it is after the lever's on there to see if, you know, the cable makes it a lot easier or if this new lever makes it easier. And like I said, that'll just give us comparison to go off of, see if I'm actually making improvements on how hard it is to pull. And then in the next video, I'm probably going to be replacing the clutch. And I've got a clutch, and then I got heavier springs with it, so that's going to make the clutch lever harder to pull. But you know, I want to go ahead and do all these and leave this stock clutch, stock springs and stuff in there for now. And then once I do the cable and the levers, we'll know how hard it is to pull with the stock clutch in there. And then we'll know how much harder it is to pull once we put the aftermarket clutch with the heavier springs in there. All right guys, so I got this little fish scale hooked to a string, and I've got it around the clutch lever and stuff here. So like I said, we'll move this out here a little bit. There we go. So we're out there on kind of the ball where your fingers would be. And like I said, I'm going to use this to pull and take a measurement, and we'll see how hard this one is to pull compared to my 450 real quick. So I don't know if you guys can see this, but we're going to go ahead and give it a pull here. And oh, the handlebars are actually turning. Let me see if I can use my foot here to stop it. So we are right about 22 pounds is where it actually starts to pull the clutch in. So let's see here again one more time. Yeah, we're right around 22 pounds is where the clutch actually starts to break over and pull. So let's come over to my 450 here real quick, and we'll do the same thing on that. Put my little string over the clutch lever. There we go. Hook this scale up. Let's see what we got here. All right. So on my 450, we are about 14 pounds. I don't know if you guys can make that out or not. But focus. But yeah, anyhow, we're right about 14 pounds is where the clutch lever breaks over on this one. So according to this, you know, we're what, 8 pounds harder to pull on this 400. So we're gonna go ahead and change the cable first, and we'll see if that makes an improvement. In order to do that, I normally turn these all the way in. We'll pop this hood off. That'll give us a little bit more room down in there. Normally just gotta pop this little cable out of the bushing there, which is kind of tight sometimes. Sometimes you can spray a little bit of silicone spray or rust penetrant or something on there will make them slide in and out a little bit easier. But yeah, we'll see here. Sometimes two hands also makes it a little easier. But yeah, there, we got that out. And then you'll need a 12mm wrench for down here. And basically you gotta loosen up these jam nuts to get the cable off. So we'll go ahead and loosen that up. A couple more turns and it should be okay. Like I said, these cables aren't very hard to change. Don't take a whole lot of work. Like I said, you can normally run that one out, and then what I do here is I pop this little rubber piece off, spin this nut all the way off. There we go. Pull off. There. And then oops, I can come back here, and it's kind of hard one-handed, but got it. And then pull this on up through, and then that cable, there's actually a little groove down here in the bracket that once you get that cable pulled through, you can drop the cable down in there and then it'll come out. So there, we've got that, and now it's just a matter of pulling it on up through and getting it undone up here. So pull that down there a little bit, and there's also another bracket that it goes through, so it might get caught. It didn't do too bad there. And then you can pull this, and then you'll get your lever undone there. And then we just unthread this on out. So, come on. Well, you don't have to unthread it all the way. We just got to get the groove lined up so that we can pop the cable out. But there we go. There. Now the cable is out most of the way. There we go. All right, guys. So as you can see here, I got the old cable out, and it was definitely sticking. It's definitely kind of hard to pull in and out. It's got some pretty good drag to it. So that was definitely an issue. And we got the new one right here. You can see how much easier the new one is to go in and out. So go ahead and get this new one in, and I'm going to tuck it down through here first. So I'm just going to run it right back down through its original little hole. We'll put this little rubber grommet back over in there. So that pops in there. And then we'll come down here, make sure we go through all the other little brackets, which there's only one, which is down here by the exhaust. Right up under here. There we go. I got it in that bracket. There's that. And same thing, we'll have to thread this nut off to get it through this last bracket, but no big deal. So, okay, now we'll come back up top and pull this up in here. Hook the cable into the lever. And, oh, there we go. Almost had that lower one just a little too tight. So we'll come back down here and we'll give this one just a little adjustment. But we're not going to worry about getting it too perfect right now because, you know, we'll be changing the lever here in a few minutes. Alright. So, put the little rubber cap back up on there. So, alright, let's see what we got up here now. So, there's a little bit too much free play in there. I think we can adjust a little bit more down here. So, let's go ahead and do that. There we go. Alright, like I said, you guys always want to run a little bit of free play in your clutch. Like I said, we can come back and do a final adjustment on this later, but it already feels much better to pull. So I'm going to take up some of that free play. Alright. So yeah, that's a huge improvement there with just that. So let me grab my fishing equipment here again, and it's back here. We'll give this another test. There we go. Let's see where we are now. So like I said, we were at 22 before, and all right, now we're about the same as where I am on my 450. We are at about it's about 13 pounds. So I would say the cable was probably the biggest issue, but like I said, if I can make it a little bit easier to pull, then we'll be okay with that too. So like I said, the next thing I'm going to do is we're going to replace this clutch lever, this little perch. We're going to get rid of all this stuff here. The only downfall is you got these two wires down here that are basically your clutch safety, and by undoing them, you have two options. You can leave them undone as long as you have a neutral safety still hooked up. You can only start it in neutral, or you can twist them together, and then it'll start anytime you hit the start button because it's going to think the clutch is pressed all the time. So that's up to you how you want to do that there. But anyhow, like I said, for now I'm going to go grab the clutch lever and we'll go ahead and swap that perch and stuff out. Alright guys, now in order to change this perch, you're going to have to come back down here where we were just at, and you're going to have to loosen this up a little bit. There we go. So then once you loosen this up, that gives you your slack so that you can change this cable out up here again. So we're going to do the same thing we did before. Just turn this back in just so that we can get the cable out. Try and get the slots to line up. Come on, there we go. So there's that. We can pull that out. So, got the cable out. Next thing you're going to need to do is an 8mm to basically take this perch off. So once you get the two 8mm off on this one, you still have those 2 wires I was talking about earlier. Oops, dropped it. Not a huge deal. Like I said, you got 2 choices. You can either leave it undone and rely on the neutral safety, or you can twist them together and then it'll start in gear all the time. So there's those 2 wires I was telling you about. We'll go ahead and get those unhooked, and then we'll have to go over to the new one here. So, well, come on now. Well, I can't get it one-handed, but anyhow, we'll get it here in a minute. But I want to come over and show you this new lever and what you have to do to get it ready. Like I said, this is a Tusk lever that I'd got off of Rocky Mountain. It's just a clutch lever and perch. It does have the quick adjust for the clutch on there. Nothing special, nothing real fancy. Just cheap because I tend to bend them and break them and stuff. But in order to get this one ready, in order to run the cable through, you'll have to take this little plastic cover off, which is just a couple Phillips head screws. So once you get that cover off, then you can see you can get into where the cable needs to go. And then you'll also have to pull this rubber off, which is kind of tight. Let's see if I can get it here. There we go. Whoa, fall down. There we go. We'll try again. But yeah, so there you go. You get that rubber off, and you'll have to shove that down over the cable before you put the cable in. But once you get it off, you can see similar thing. You have to basically get all the grooves to line up. So once you turn that quick adjust to a certain spot, everything lines up and you can stick the cable in there. So I'm going to go finish getting that wire off the other perch, and then we'll get this one installed. Alright guys, I went ahead and got this on here. It was kind of difficult for me to hold the camera and get everything in there all at the same time. Kind of needed 2 hands, but just a couple things to note. Like I said, it's just loosely on there right now. You want to pay attention when you put these on. This lower half of the perch on these Tusk levers, it will only go on one direction. And then also these bolts are 2 different lengths. This bolt back here needs to be the longer one because it's going through thicker metal back in here versus over here on this side. And the other thing that's nice about this clutch lever and perch is it does come with this little plastic bushing, so it will fit, you know, your standard bars or your oversized bars, so it'll work on either one. So that is kind of nice. Like I said, I went ahead and put this hood back on. We're going to go ahead and get this lever put in there. So let's hook the cable up, and there we go. So that went in pretty nice and easy, and I did put the rubber on before I shoved it in there, but now we can slide the rubber up into place, try and help keep dirt out of the cable. So maybe this one will last a little longer than the last one. But like I said, this nut here is loose too, so when you go through to tighten it, you want to make sure you tighten everything, double check it all. We'll come back down here now and adjust this clutch cable again. There. I'll go right about there. Let's see here. Try something about like so. Let's see. That up. Still a little bit of free play there. Maybe we can go a little bit more. We'll try that. We'll snug that up. Like I said, these don't have to be crazy tight. They just kind of got to be snug. So now I'll come back up here, make sure we got some free play. Yep, we got some free play. Like I said, we can adjust that with this now. Oh, there we go. We go the right direction. So there we go. Maybe, yeah. There. We got a little bit of free play in that now. One of the other things too, like I don't like the end of my lever to stick past the end of my handlebars, so I try and line those up, you know, about the same. So right about there, and I'll probably roll it back a little bit. So, I do a lot of riding standing up too, so I kind of like my levers to where they're kind of angled down just a smidgen. So we got those on there. We'll try and snug these up. One of the other things too, I don't really crank these down very tight. I don't like them to move on me when I'm riding, of course, but I also don't like them extremely tight, because whenever I'm doing hill climbing and stuff, if I crash and hit a lever, I'd much rather it roll and spin out of the way versus bending or breaking. So if you got them cranked down super tight, then more than likely if you crash, you're going to break a lever or break a perch. So I don't get too carried away with cranking these down. Let's see here. So yeah, you can see it won't move. You gotta kind of get a decent amount of force, but if I hit it, it does bend down. So, but like I said, I kind of like them that way. That way, you know, if you do have an accident, you're less likely to end up breaking something. So there's that. We'll go ahead and check. We'll see if that helped the pull out at all. I don't know if it did or not. But we'll go ahead and check here real quick and we'll see. I'm going to go ahead and get the plastic cover back on there and also tighten up this bolt right down here for the clutch lever. I need a 10 for that. So like I said, I'll go ahead and tighten that up and we'll get this all back on there and we'll do one final measurement. So all right guys, so there it is. We got it all on there and finished up. One other thing too is this has got Allen screws in the end of this, so you can adjust the detent, basically make it a little harder or a little easier to change and adjust. So that's kind of nice. And then it also has an Allen right back here that you can use to adjust the stop on the lever itself. So for being, I think it was like a $20 lever, it is pretty adjustable, and like I said, it seems to work pretty well. Like I said, I don't know if it's gonna It's not advertised as an easy pull lever or anything like that for this bike by no means. Like I said, it's just advertised as a clutch lever. So I don't know if it is going to improve the effort that it takes to pull or not. So we'll go ahead and get this hooked up there one last time and we'll see what we come up with. So I got that hooked up and here we go. So there's the breakover. We're right around 12. Like I said, I don't know. It might be a little easier. It's breaking over around 11, I think, 10 or 11. So where are we at now? So yeah, it might be a little bit easier. Wait, focus on there for you guys. I don't want to focus, but like I said, we're bottomed out there. But like I said, the breakover point, like I said, there it's already broke over, so it's right around 10 or 11. So it did make it slightly easier to pull, but I'm sure you're probably not going to notice that little bit of a difference. You know, only 1 or 2 pounds on the pull. So like I said, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like I said, it wasn't a terrible job. Pretty quick, easy swap. And like I said, the clutch lever was definitely okay. But I didn't like the parking brake and all that, you know, because I got the parking brake block off on here. And so just kind of clean the handlebars up a little bit by getting rid of all that. And like I said, I was almost positive that the cable was dragging. And like I said, I know the clutch is slipping, which might have been because the cable was dragging. But either way, we got a new clutch for it. And we'll be putting that in the next video. So we'll see if that makes it any harder or easier to pull. So hope you guys enjoyed, and make sure you guys hit the like and subscribe button, and be sure to leave comments down below, because every comment and every time you guys hit the like and subscribe just helps my channel grow much faster, and I can get some more content out there for you guys. And once again, I appreciate all the views and all the subscribers, and hope everyone has a good evening. Thanks.